Hey, Frank Rumbauskas here again, and I want to talk a little bit about the leverage and the systems that you need to have a true appointment setting, a true lead generation machine. Now, everything I teach is about leverage and systems, but I'm going to go off on a little bit of a tangent here and talk about where I went off on a little bit of a tangent and almost started to believe somebody's BS until I realized it was all BS. Long story short, guy came on the sales training scene a couple of years ago, several years after my first book, even my second, their books came out. Half of this guy's books are already out of print, and it's all about more activity, make 10 times more calls, see 10 times more people, 10 times more this, 10 times more that. And I'm reading this book and I'm thinking, well, this sounds great, but if I were 22 years old and single and lived alone, I already worked 7 to 7 back in those days. Even I get up early in the morning back then. I still do now that I've gotten off of caffeine and all the other things that were draining my energy, and I wake up and I spend that time with my family. I'm not out running around doing sales calls and 10 times more activity at 7 a.m. So I did some research on this dude, and I find out the guy's an entire fraud. He worked for somebody else's sales training company his whole life. He married into money recently, and now he's leveraging his family's money to put on a good appearance, look wealthy, finance all these books. Half of them are already out of print. None of my books are out of print, and I've been in this business a lot longer than he has. But it goes to show that anybody who's telling you to do more activity, make more calls, increase your activity, it's a scam. It's BS. Excuse my language, but it's total bullshit. The reason they tell you that is because sales VPs, these people who've been out of the field for 20 and 30 years, 40 years, even more, as people work more and more into old age, they want somebody to come in and tell their reps to make more calls. And more often than not, the sales director, the sales VP is someone who's never even been in sales, if they've been in the field at all. And so they want some douchebag to come in and tell you to make more calls and do 10 times more activity because that saves them a marketing budget. It makes you be the victim. You go out and make 10 times more calls. I've explained a million times, 10 times 0 still equals 0. So if you're getting one sale out of 100 cold calls, which is actually above average nowadays because cold calling has become so ineffective, but if you're believing that nonsense and you're going to 10 times your activity, which is completely impossible, the only way to do 10 times more activity is to change the day from 24 hours to 240 hours. Physically impossible. It's not going to happen. We only have 24 hours in the day. Need to make the most of that time, so you've got to use leverage systems. One of the very basic principles of what I do is that a predisposed or a predetermined piece of the market is predisposed to buy from you. They already want what you've got. In selling my Never Cold Call Again system and my other systems, I don't target people who like to cold call. I don't target companies who mandate cold calling to their sales reps. They're not my market. But if I were to go door to door to try to sell my sales training, 9 out of 10 would be those companies. They would be a complete waste of my time, a waste of their time. I'd piss them off by cold calling them. They'd piss me off by telling me I'm stupid and that everybody should be cold calling. It's a lose-lose all around. But having a system that pre-identifies, pre-qualifies leads that will buy from you, people who are predisposed to want what you have, it's a win-win all around. It's a win for you because you get a sale. It's a win for them because you're providing something that they already want and need that will benefit them. They will repeat business with you. They will keep buying from you. They will send more customers to you. There will be no buyer's remorse. You don't have to use closes. I don't like the idea of sales closing, even though it's something I'll probably end up teaching at some point because a lot of people who are brand new don't even know what to do in a sales appointment. And a lot of people who come to me are right out of school and in their first sales job, and all they hear from their boss and books is make more cold calls, do 10 times more activity, but they don't know what activity to do. But having said that, if you have to close somebody, there's a very good chance that you're forcing something on them that they don't want. They're not going to be a good customer for you. It's not going to be a good match. They're not going to give you referrals. They may even badmouth you, post rip-off reports. It's just a bad deal all around. So you want to be with pre-qualified prospects. The other thing you want to do is look for ways to serve other people. As I mentioned in my previous video, I had just done a survey to my customers, say, what do you want from me next? Most people said they want a sales lead and appointment generation system. Number 2 people, and it was almost a tie, it was a very close number 2, said they want to learn how to start a business and be an entrepreneur. And just yesterday I had a phone call with Senator Marco Rubio, and I said, so many people are going to this populism, to this statism that the government should take care of everyone, and it's not sustainable. What do we do? And Senator Rubio said to me, Frank, you're 43, I'm 45. What we need to do, politics aside, is to just create more entrepreneurs in this world. And at that point, I decided I'm going to do that. So keep this idea of systems and leverage in mind. Because when you create leverage systems, you're not wasting your time cold calling. You're not having to do 10 times more activity to get 1.5 times the result or whatever that turns out to be. You're not denying yourself time with your family, with your spouse. If you're single and in your 20s, you're not denying yourself time with your friends and to do leisure activities, go out and have fun and blow off some steam. You don't want to be working 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. like some of these charlatans and idiots. These people who never did it for themselves, married into money and pretend to be successful. Give me a break. Do it the right way. Use leverage, use systems. I'm going to show you how to do that, so stay tuned. Watch my next video coming up tomorrow for more info on how to do this.